On the news this morning, NLC threatens strike over proposed increase in electricity bills. President Buhari sacks ministers in rare reshuffle. Court of Appeal sit-in stays execution of ex parte order against APC holding local government area congresses. Lawyer says it's unlawful to compel citizens to take COVID vaccine. On the foreign scene, Zambian President Hichilema inherits empty treasury. In sports, Cristiano Ronaldo breaks men's international goal record. I am Ifiemi Andrew. The NLC is threatening to embark on a strike if the federal government implements the proposed increase in electricity bill. Labour reminded the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, about the agreement they reached on September 28, 2020. They had agreed to freeze further increase in electricity tariff until the committee concludes its work and its report adopted by all the principals in the committee. The threat followed speculations that the 11 power distribution companies have received approval to slightly increase electricity tariff from September 1. President Muhammadu Buhari has sacked the ministers of Power, Saleh Maman, and that of Agriculture, Sabo Nanono. Announcing this after Wednesday's Federal Executive Council meeting, Presidential aide Ifiemi Andrew said the Minister of State for Works and Housing, Engineer Abubakar Aliyu, has been asked to oversee the Ministry of Power, while the Minister of Environment, Dr. Muhammad Abubakar, moves to Agriculture and Rural Development Ministry.
I must commend this cabinet for demonstrating unparalleled resilience that helped the government to navigate the disruption to global systems and governance occasioned by the COVID-19 shortly after inauguration. Change is the only factor that is constant in every human endeavor. And as this administration approaches its critical phase in the second term, I have found it essential to reinvigorate this cabinet in a manner that will deepen its capacity to consolidate legacy achievements. Accordingly, a few changes marking the beginning of a continuous process have been approved. I have personally met with the departing members to thank them for their contributions to discussions in cabinet and the valuable services rendered to the nation. And I wish them the best in all future endeavors.
The presidential media aide quoted the president as saying that the changes will be a continuous process. A draft national policy has been approved for internally displaced persons. The policy provides a platform for actors in humanitarian and development space to help achieve the set goal. Announcing this after Wednesday's FEC meeting, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, spoke on the overall goal of the policy.
And with the approval of this policy, a multi-sectoral structure will fully emerge, which should ensure a coordinated, operational and strategic response to all the humanitarian challenges our great nation is facing and providing practical and actionable solutions that will resolve internal displacement in the country.
She added that about 3 billion naira has been spent on several mediation programs for IDPs in the frontline states. On his part, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, said Council approved the completion of the dual carriage Odukbani to Ikotekbene Road at a cost of over 79 billion naira with a 16 months timeline. Answering questions on the failed portion of the Lokoja-Kaba Highway, Mr. Fashola blamed natural causes, which he said are usually prevalent during the rainy season. He ever said the FEMA was mobilizing to site to fix the portion. Mr. Fashola regretted that there is no provision in the federal budget for the Works Ministry for maintenance and road repairs.
Nobody that I know in the transport sector rests easy during bad weather. And so this is our very, very difficult season as we go through the rainy season. And this is the context in which to locate Lokoja Kaba. It's a failure caused by nature and aging. And again, an opportunity to share with you what we have. We expect that these things will happen, but we don't know where they will happen every time. So we've been proposing that Nigeria should have an emergency provision in the works budget, but we haven't been successful enough. There must be a contingency, a sizable sum, because when we see failures, last year we had a problem like that in Kebbi where roads were washed away. We couldn't respond because we didn't have the resources. But we will lean on FEMA.
You will recall that the FRSC alerted the public on Tuesday that a section of the Lokoja-Kaba Highway has caved in between Zariagi and Obajana Cement Factory. The management of NYSC is insisting that incoming corps members must undergo compulsory COVID-19 test before being allowed into any of their camps. NYSC Director Press and Public Relations Mrs. Adenike Adeyemi told a press conference in Abuja that only those that test negative would be admitted for the orientation course. She said the number of participants allowed into camp have been reduced nationwide to ensure physical and social distancing. The NYSC spokesperson explained that since the beginning of the pandemic, 5 orientation courses have been successfully executed without COVID-19 infractions. A lawyer, Richard Wokocha, says it is unlawful to compel anyone to take the COVID vaccine. Associate Professor Wokocha, a lecturer at the Department of Public Law, Rivers State University, said the issue of health is private and compelling an individual to take the vaccine violates their fundamental rights. He said there should be more sensitization to convince citizens to take the vaccine.
No court will rule that it is right the state to compel anybody on a matter of personal health. Compelling somebody to be vaccinated violates the right of individuals, and that is why up to today, those die-hard Jehovah's Witnesses who say no to blood transfusion have not been compelled to receive blood transfusion. The issue of health is private, and so you can hardly compel anybody lawfully. Elsewhere, even in the countries where vaccines are developed, they are not compelling people that way. Sensitization and more sensitization, that is what is going on around the world.
Associate Professor Wokocha said the state and federal governments have the right to restrict unvaccinated persons from accessing some public facilities, but not compel anyone to take the vaccine.
It may come to the point where it may be necessary to say that those who have not been vaccinated should not access where they can infect other people. Because the state has responsibility to protect you and I and to protect all citizens. It shouldn't, with its eyes open, see something that can lead to the death of citizens happening without doing anything. So for that reason, they may be able to stop you from accessing certain public places where the public will run the risk of getting infected in the event that you are infected since you are not vaccinated. So that would be a different argument. Certainly not church. If the church does not maintain that policy, you cannot impose it on them.
As you may know, the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Faisal Shaib, had said that government can apply the basic rule of law against people who are not vaccinated as they put others in danger. 582 new cases of COVID-19 were recorded yesterday in 15 states. Lagos had the most cases with 175, Rivers State second with 124 cases. Edo recorded 60, Delta 57, Akwa Ibom 44, Anambra, Bayelsa, Gombe, Ekiti, FCT, Kaduna, Kano, Benue, Plateau and Ogun State also recorded cases. 11 people died of COVID yesterday. Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle has ordered the immediate closure of primary and secondary schools in the state following the abduction of a number of students in the state. The Zamfara State Commissioner of Police, Ayuba Elkana, conveyed the governor's message while addressing journalists on new security measures in the state. Still ahead, Court of Appeal sit-in stays execution of ex parte order against APC holding local government area congresses. Stay tuned. The Court of Appeal sitting at Abuja has granted a stay of execution on the ex parte order of a Rivers State High Court that stopped the APC Local Government Congress in the state. The three-man panel led by Justice Dati Yahaya in the appeal filed by the APC against the matter instituted by one Stephen Warner and 6 others frowned at the order of the Rivers State High Court against the process of a political party which they said have the backing of the Constitution. One of the lawyers of the APC in Rivers State, Jerome Chimene, confirmed the development via telephone interview with our correspondent. Mr. Jerome said the appeal court's stay of execution order means that the party can now go ahead to hold the local government area congress scheduled for Saturday, 4th of September 2021. Correspondent Sebiruwai reports that Justice Ben White of Rivers State High Court had immediately after the World Congress of APC on the 31st of July 2021 restrained Rivers APC from conducting local government and state congresses. The judge had asked parties to maintain the status quo pending the determination of the hearing of the main matter. Some repentant cultists from the Andoni local government area of Rivers State have vowed not to go back to their old ways as they return home. Some of them gave this assurance shortly after participating in the Andoni Peace and Reconciliation Committee's 3-day reorientation campaign for repentant cultists.
I will be in my community doing my normal work, at the same time taking care of my family and the rest of the people. Now, those people that have been offended, to call them and plead with them, please sympathize with them, work with them.
I was already said that I will make sure the peace reign in Andoni. And right now, when I go home, I will tell other people to follow peace. Also, I will call those that are my friends to tell them sorry that from today we accepted the peace of Andoni to come back, that they should forgive me the one I do.
If I have job, I will be doing my job, take care of my family, and I will maintain the peace in Andoni and Nigeria entirely. I will call on them to have mercy on me and forgive me, and that I have forgiven them too. Specifically, what I want government to do for me, to create job opportunity.
Speaking at the event, the chairman and the local government, Erastus Awotu, who promised to give the ex-cultist equal opportunities, said he has forgiven the youth of Andoni he sent to kill him on his inauguration day.
His Royal Majesty has talked about forgiveness. I know that when I was coming for my inauguration, somebody was handed pistol to come and attack me. He's in detention now. I've forgiven him. We'll try a way and see how he will come out. Those that have also been arrested, we'll try and see how we can support so that they will come out and come and enjoy this peace process. But I have to say, and let it be clear, that we will not cover criminality. If you live here today, if you go and rob or you go and steal, meet your right petition for them to detain you. Nobody must engage in criminality. We must all come back home.
On his part, the chairman Andoni Area Council of Traditional Rulers, His Majesty King Okurutket Nabiget, said he believes that lasting peace has returned to the area.
With this position today, because since 3 days now, we calmed them and the response was very nice. With all impression I saw today and what happened, certainly there will be peace in Andoni. It remains our going home for final agreement between them. After that, Thanksgiving service. There is assurance that there will be peace. Before ever we started, we pleaded with everybody because some houses were burned, some people were killed, they lost ones. It affected them as well too. Some of them died. All we have is to tell them, please, let bygone be bygone.
Rivers State Commissioner for Energy and Natural Resources, Peter Mede, says the sudden increase in the price of liquefied petroleum gas, popularly called cooking gas, is due to the federal government's implementation of the 7.5% VAT on imported liquefied petroleum gas. Mr. Mede told correspondent Mekautuka that the reduced price of cooking gas in the state is because there is a trunk gas plant in Port Harcourt. Mr. Mede said the price of cooking gas is higher in other states.
It's federal government policy. It's federal government policy. So as a state, we have little we can do because it's on the exclusive list. Before now, gas from LNG in Boni used to go to Lagos, where they have the plant that will convert it into cooking gas. But with the enabling environment that the state government has provided, today we have a stopgap plant in Ruminimini, where instead of the gas now to go to Lagos, then they will start trucking it back to River State with the attendant cost. That is being done presently in River State. And because it's being done in River State to cover the whole of South, South, and Southeast, what we are seeing as increase in price now would have been more if the price of trucking it from Lagos was added. Well, the only thing any state can do is to boost supply, which is provide that enabling environment for investors to begin to invest in that area.
As you may know, a 12.5 kg of cooking gas that sold for about 3,500 in June is now sold for 6,500 in Port Harcourt and about 6,500 in other states. It seems all is now set for the construction of the Mbushimini slaughter market to begin. This was as live birds, ram, goat and tubers of yam were laid under huge trees at the site, and community members gathered for traditional rites to appease the gods before contractors could begin demolition work. Recall that last month, the Rivers State Executive Council approved the shutdown of a Oginigba slaughter market in Transamadi and approved the building of a new slaughter market at Mbushimini Rumeme Obiakwa local government area. Some petty traders, displaced after the old slaughter market in Mbushimini was demolished, spoke to Nigerian Info.
We don't do so far, nothing they move, and now if they build the market well, I hope we will get customers.
As this work they go on now, let them clear this place for us so that we affect our own business too.
Before they demolish this illegal structure where they here, we they sell market. Now where they want to do this slaughter for us, our expectation be say the thing go move where market go enter and more people go come.
We expect to bring police station here so that people mind go rest because of all these criminal activities.
If they do them, everybody will benefit from them, and of course our business pattern will change.
In business, President Ogoni Liberation Initiative Douglas Fabeke has extended his Enlightenment and Peace Sensitization campaign to some communities and local government areas in Ogoni Kingdom. The communities include Bera, Mogo, Kedere, and Tai and Eleme local government area. Dr. Fabeke in a statement expressed satisfaction over the massive turnout of various group leaders and coordinators of Ogoni Liberation Initiative in the areas. He said the warm reception received during his visit would motivate him to continue his developmental stride in Ogoni communities. He also stressed the need for all aggrieved persons and groups to shape their swords and contribute their quota to the development and peace of the area. Dr. Fabeke further said his organization would meet all the traditional rulers and 4 local government chairmen in Ogoni to prefer solutions on how to achieve a desired peace. He said no amount of pressure would deter him from fighting against the injustice meted on the Ogonis for years. He also assured that the organization would work with both state and federal governments because of their commitment to ensuring peace and economic restoration of Ogoni. In entertainment, American superstar rapper DaBaby has done a remake of Wizkid's hit song Essence. DaBaby shot an official video for the 2-minute freestyle which he posted on his YouTube channel. The video is about 1 million views. Fondly called Big Wiz, the singer released the original version of the song Essence featuring Thames on his Made in Lagos album in 2020. In sports, Cristiano Ronaldo broke the world record for goals scored in men's international football as he hits his 110th and 111th goal for Portugal in their dramatic 2-1 World Cup qualifying win over the Republic of Ireland. The 36-year-old scored 2 late headers to break and extend the record after he had a penalty saved by Gavin Bazunu. The Manchester United forward has also equaled Sergio Ramos' European record for men's cap with his 180th Portugal appearance.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Zambia's new president has told the BBC that he has inherited an empty treasury while horrifying amounts of money had been stolen. President Hakainde Hichilema said people are still trying to make unauthorized last-minute movements of funds which are not theirs. Mr. Hichilema did not name any officials. He defeated his rival Edgar Lungu in presidential elections last month, and Mr. Lungu, who governed the copper-rich nation since 2015, has previously denied any wrongdoing. Mr. Hichilema won the election on a promise to tackle corruption and to end the financial and economic crisis that has seen Zambians' debt ballooning. On the news this morning, you heard that the NLC has threatened a strike over proposed increase in electricity tariff. President Buhari has sacked 2 ministers and says more will follow in rare cabinet shakeup. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has granted a stay of execution on the ex parte order of the Rivers State High Court that stopped the APC's local government congresses in the state. A lawyer, Richard Wokocha, says it is unlawful to compel citizens to take COVID vaccine. On the foreign scene, Zambian President Hichilema says he's inherited an empty treasury. In sports, Cristiano Ronaldo has broken the world record for goals scored in men's international football as he hit his 110th and 11th goals for Portugal. The news was edited by Enoho Ogbeviri. Contact our newsroom at 0818-900-0017. For more stories, visit our website at www.nigeriainfo.fm. Light showers expected in Port Harcourt this morning. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Thank you for listening.